All right. So again, I'm Will Andrews, and I'm going to provide you some information pertaining to housing and residential life. So first off, our assignment process. Today is our priority deadline for students to submit their housing application for the upcoming year. Once you submit the application, the student submits the application and signs it. They can make edits to the application all the way up until Sunday, May the 31st at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. If you visit our website, we have a video tutorial that individuals can follow if they have questions, but all the information is there. But again, it's most importantly ensuring that your student has submitted their housing application. What options will students have for the upcoming year? Students will have the option to rank their preferences between a modern suite, a traditional suite, and a traditional communal suite. From there, students will have the option to preference a single, a double, which is most common, or a triple. I like to point out that again, majority of all first year students will live in a double occupied room. We do have singles, but those singles are very limited. So just want to make sure students know that you can rank it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the majority of what spaces are available in our portfolio. I want to highlight accommodations because this is something the student has to kind of lead. But how does it work if a student needs a housing accommodation that's managed through our Disability Resource Office? From there, residential life is also part of the process. And then we also make the assignments based on approvals. What students need to do, they first need to, if their student is needing an accommodation, and I would say, regardless of what the accommodation is, a student should submit it themselves, submit it through Disability Resources, and ensure that they've completed the housing application. Most importantly, we just want to make sure that students understand that accommodations do not guarantee a specific residence hall, a room type, or a roommate. Final assignments are made through residential life. Timing is important. It can take up to 2 to 6 weeks before a decision can be made. That's how many accommodation requests are coming in. So those who submit late, there may be limited availability prior to us doing placements, and then also may be placed on a wait list. Picking a roommate, I really just want to acknowledge that not every student selects a roommate in our process. Students have the option to go in, search through roommates through our search feature, and then from there, they can make a mutual match. But again, majority of students do not pick a roommate. A lot of them answer the questions and allow our team to do the placement. What to bring, what not to bring. All of this is on our website, but I always like to highlight it since this webinar really features a lot of parents, twin XL bed sheets, clothing for all seasons because we are in the Midwest and our seasons can change. It was hot early this week and now it's cooler. So making sure a student has a light jacket, toiletries, so forth. Helpful things that I've noticed students like to have, plastic bins. They're best for when moving out or putting away clothing that you don't wear for certain seasons. Things you can't bring, of course, are grills, large appliances. Again, my tips for parents is encourage your student once they know who their roommate is for the upcoming year to connect to try to avoid duplicating things to bring. And then always remember as before arriving to campus, you'll be able to pick up things after you settle in and encourage you don't overpack.
So, a couple things about dining, and this is all related because you will do your select your meal plan essentially as you're picking your housing as well, which, as Will had said, the priority deadline is tonight. So a couple things for you to be aware of for our dining program, just to kind of share what our key priorities are as we go throughout the academic year, as we are in our planning season right now. We are currently actively working on menus for the fall. Some of those key priorities for us are quality and freshness of our food, nutrition forward approach, keeping everything, or at least having available options for lean proteins, heart healthy fats, produce, fruits and vegetables, sustainability as well, and plant-based dining options. Inclusive dining, which goes along with what Will was talking about for if some of your students have accommodations they're going to be requesting for any dietary needs, we do try to include those within our dining options to make it more inclusive for your students or for you as a student. And then also a student-centered approach. So really trying to meet the needs of every student that comes through for dining so that you can be a part of dining because the more you're able to be have connection on campus with your roommates, your classmates, people that you commune and you eat with, the better your well-being and success at WashU may be. So our meal plans are set up as you would pick a plan, and I will go through some of those options in a moment. And you get points from that plan. It's like a bank account or a meal plan. And all of those points that are given to you are deducted as you use them. So we call that a declining balance. You can use your meal plan and your meal points on our Danforth campus at all of the dining locations. Currently, there's only one exception to that, and that is in Bauer in the Knight Center, where our business school is. All of your meal points, you purchase them at the beginning of each semester, and they're loaded at that semester. Anything that you use from the fall, or I'm sorry, that is unused from the fall, will roll over to the spring. But once the spring semester is done, so once we just finish this academic spring semester, any unused points are then not carried over until the following year. So you will have a new plan that you will select the next year. If you're a December graduate or if you're participating in a study abroad program more for down the road, those points will expire at the end of that fall semester. So here are our meal plan options. We have everything from our highest meal plan is the Platinum meal plan. This is probably our most popular meal plan because it is the highest. So it gives you the most points for that plan. And all of this is also on our website as well. The gold plan is next, followed by the silver. The silver meal plan is the minimum that is required for a first year student. And then as you become an upperclassman at WashU and your housing changes, maybe you live off campus, you have other options from a bronze apartment or an off-campus plan that are just lower meal plans. So again, the platinum is the highest, the minimum is the silver. And to give you a frame of reference, the platinum will give you approximately 3 meals a day, 21 meals a week, whereas the silver may be somewhere closer to, I usually say 10 to 12 meals per week depending on how your student purchases or how you purchase food or plan to purchase food on campus. And the reasons there's a variation to that is because you're given a set amount of points based on the plan that you select, and you can use them all across campus. And so if you choose to buy meals or snacks, we have convenience stores on campus, we have coffee shops, we have retail outlets that are independent kind of St. Louis style unique restaurants around campus. And so depending on how you purchase food or beverages, that will depend on how your meal plan is being used. And so there is flexibility. There's a lot of flexibility in our meal plans. So you have to kind of gauge how you anticipate wanting to eat on campus. Our dining team, so I am a registered dietitian, and we do have another part-time dietitian on our team. And so part of one of the benefits of being at WashU and part of our dining program is getting nutrition support if you choose. So that may be most relevant for you if you have a current food allergy or a dietary restriction as you're coming onto campus and maybe need help once you pick your meal plan, kind of like how to use that meal plan around campus or what are the options available for you. And I'll kind of go into some of that in a little bit more. But I am a part of our student affairs department with our health and wellness center and athletics. And we do nutrition consultations for students that are referred by medical providers as well as sports performance consultations as well. There's a note on here about Simple Servings Plus, which I will talk about in a moment. And so those are for our students who have food allergy needs. So we'll continue to talk about that. So again, as you're kind of thinking about dining on campus and what may be available for you, if you have a food allergy, we have a program called Simple Servings, and then an extension of that called Simple Servings Plus. Both of these are made without the top 9 food allergens, and we're going to include gluten in here for celiac disease as well, because it's kind of similar for us in terms of excluding wheat and gluten. Simple Servings is a location within our Bears Den, our Duck, and our Village dining halls. And any student can walk up and order food from those locations. Again, they're made without the top 9 food allergens, but they're pretty well-rounded, nutritious meals where we have a lean protein, we have a vegan protein entree, and then you get 2 sides of a starch and a vegetable. So many students prefer to order from there because it's healthier and it's just really pretty delicious. Simple Servings Plus, you do need to have a food allergy or a medical-based food need to be able to order from Simple Servings Plus. It's similar, but you do need to work with me or someone on my team to kind of get on an approved list to be able to order from that. And the reason we need that is in order to help students know how to use it if they do need it, and then also really keep the space produced in an accurate way so we're not contaminating the space with anything of those top 9 food allergens. If you have a food allergy that's outside the top 9, maybe it's onions, garlic, strawberries, we can work with you on that as well. So if you have a food allergy and you think Simple Servings Plus is going to be of need for you, I will let you know how to reach out to me in a moment. One thing you might want to do, whether you have a food allergy or you're just looking for the ingredients on foods, you kind of want to look at the menus when you're here on campus, you may want to download the Everyday app. This is where our dining locations for the Bears Den, the Duck, or the Danforth University Center, and the Village menus will be located. And so you can see the menus, but you can also click on individual menu items and then see the nutrition information and the ingredients. We also have other ways to see that information on our website, as well as on, if you're in person ordering, on our digital screens on campus. If you plan to keep vegan, vegetarian, you keep kosher, or you need halal dining, we do have options for those as well. We have a kosher kitchen on the South 40 in the Bears Den. We also have kosher meals that we take across campus throughout the day as well. Our Village is our all halal dining location, but we do have other dining spots or halal options within the DUC and as well as in the Bears Den. So I have those highlighted here. Kalamata at the Duck and Spice Market at the Bear Center are halal concepts. In terms of vegetarian and vegan, we have a vegetarian or vegan option as in an entree at almost every location within those Bears Dens, Duck and Village locations. So I mentioned kind of how to get in touch with me or our dining services team. There's really 2 great ways. We're always on our emails. So dining services at woostel.edu if you do have a question about your meal plans. And if you do want to reach out to me directly, whether it's a food allergy or just a nutrition question, you can reach out to me at nutrition@woostel.edu. A few other ways that you can continue to stay in touch once you're here in the fall and throughout the school year is to join our Dining Service Advisory Team, or our DSAT. And this is our student-led group where we partner with all of our dining partners on campus. So the ones that oversee the Bears Den, the Duck, the Village, which are larger dining spaces, as well as those smaller satellite retail locations that we have as well. You can share your feedback on our website as well. And then we also, again, you always can schedule or at least reach out to inquire if a one-on-one nutrition consultation is a good fit for you. And I encourage you to explore our website. So diningservices.washu.edu, you can see what's open now. It will be less right now because we are into the summer months. You can also look at nutrition information. You can see all the different options within each location. We do post dining events on there, and you can see other things like our sustainability initiatives as well. And then Will and I can answer questions that you may have.
Are residence halls open for students during fall, Thanksgiving, and spring break? And yes, the halls do stay open. Residents have the option to just register during fall, Thanksgiving, and spring break. For safety reasons and security, we just want to know that who's going to be around. So there's no cost to it. It's coupled into the housing costs, and they just have to, again, register for the late stay or the break stay.
Mhm.
Great.
Okay, the next one's for me. So, how are points deducted from your meal plan for meals? So, when you select your meal plan, they will be loaded onto your student ID. So, you need to bring that with you everywhere. And then, when you're going to purchase food, you can check out with one of our cashiers and they will swipe your ID and it will be deducted from your meal plan automatically. You can, oh, sorry, the next question was, can you change your dining plan after arrival? Yes, thank you. I meant to bring this up. You can change your meal plan. I don't have the exact date on me, but it's usually the first 2 weeks when you come onto campus. I think it's right before or after Labor Day. You have that window of time from when you come onto campus to the first 2 weeks to see how you're using your meal plan, how you're eating on campus, and you can make an adjustment to your meal plan then. After that, they're locked in.
The next question is there summer storage available for students for storing dorm stuff over the summer? So we do provide a list of preferred vendors who provide storage at a cost for students. But what I would say is I definitely see students, sometimes families or roommates may rent storage units off campus with families to share the cost. So there's definitely creative ways for students and families can store items over the summer. The next question is, what furniture comes in the dorms? So most all of them will have a twin size mattress, extra long, a desk, a chair. They all have closets, even though I know that's not furniture, but areas where you can store a dresser drawer that's able to slide up under the bed for additional storage. And then in some cases, some have a hutch, and then some have mini book shelves. So yes, all the furniture for the most part is coming, but you do occasionally see students bring in additional things to be able to accommodate all of their personal items.
The next question is, would I recommend a different meal plan for a business school freshman? Um, I really don't recommend different meal plans based on your study program. It's really based on how you would want to eat on campus. So I would kind of think about what are your current eating patterns at home now, and how do you maybe anticipate? I know that's kind of hard to do, but how do you maybe anticipate wanting to eat on campus? Would you want to eat all 3 meals 7 days a week on campus? Do you want to buy snacks in our convenience store or coffee beverages? If that's the case, I would definitely recommend the highest meal plan, the platinum, but I would still want to set expectations straight that you may still need to want to buy those snacks maybe off campus. I mean, the convenience stores are great, but they're convenient. So if you want to be a little more frugal with your um, meal points and let them be used for your meals, then you can use some of our shuttle programs that will take you to the shopping areas, and you can go to Target and Schnucks and get some of the snacks for that. If you want to be able to have some flexibility and go off campus on the weekends, maybe the platinum plan isn't the best for you, and maybe it's more like the gold or the silver where it's lower and you have that flexibility to eat off campus. So I hope that answers the question.
Our next question is are the residence halls cleaned before move-in, and do they need to bring cleaning supplies for the first day? I get that question every year. When you move in, the room is clean. We go through a thorough process of ensuring all the spaces are clean, but for many parents, they like to do that extra wipe down prior to their students moving in. I would encourage you to either at some point little wipes or something for students to have Lysol during seasonal months. Having a can just to spray down is always goes a long way when it comes to keeping people healthy. But overall, the rooms are spotless. Our team takes a lot of care, our housekeeping team, ensuring that the rooms are move-in ready when you move in. All right.
The next one is about where are dining points accepted versus bare bucks, and how or where are bare bucks purchased and loaded. I'll kind of answer that in reverse. So there is a website for bare bucks. Even if you just Google WashU bare bucks, it should probably take you to the page. And that is where you can load bare bucks. You're They're similar in terms of they're both currency that you can use on campus. Like I said earlier, your meal points or your meal plan is eligible to be used all across dining locations, with one exception in the Night Center or Bower Hall. You can use bare bucks at that location. And so everywhere else, you're going to take your meal points and you want to use your meal points first. Once your meal points run out, and I do expect them to run out at some point in the semester, then you can load more bare bucks and you would load, 50 at a time or 100 at a time rather than a whole set of larger points. Um, and then you can use your bare bucks in those same dining locations. The next question is, how are meal points calculated with regard to cost? And are the meals all you can eat? So once you select your meal plan, you are given meal points associated with that plan. And at that point, the points that you were provided are a dollar for dollar equivalent point to a dollar. We do have an all you care to eat dining location in the Bears Den. It is currently open for breakfast, lunch, dinner, but it's different during those day parts, whether it's all you care to eat. So breakfast and lunch, we call this a retail environment where you walk up and you order breakfast, you pick out what you want and you get that. For dinner during the week, so Monday through Friday, we do have all you care to eat, where you can go in and browse the different stations, kind of pick and choose different things from across the dining hall. I think there was a question, I might have missed it, or maybe Raven answered it for us, but about how early you can change your meal plan. And you should be able to change that now. You do need to submit that in the housing portal. Well, the next question is, when is the last day to move out in the spring semester?
I'm typing it in.
Oh, okay.
So it's May 7th, 2027 will be the year for next year when students have to move out. Can you ship many items before move-in? Yes, we encourage you not to start sending until the housing assignment has been released and your the students' mailing address have been shared. And once you arrive to campus, there'll be an ability for you to be able to go to the mailroom and pick up those items. Um, do they get lost? No, but I can't recall ever a time packages getting lost that have been shipped prior. So one of our vendors, it's University Trucking, they provide a service where if you ship through them, they will deliver it to the student's room prior to move-in. So there is an option if you don't want to pick it up prior to moving in or at move-in, you can ship through their service and then they will be delivered to your room, the student's room when they arrive.
Is there information? I'll read it to you. How tall is the dresser that fits under the bed?
Oh, I don't know it off by hand, but that information is on our website. And if you can't find it, just call our residential life office. That's a common question we get. I will say it can fit underneath. It's a three-drawer dresser, but the students typically have to raise the bed to the highest point. And technically, all of the beds are raised to the highest because students want to maximize as much storage. What I see students also do is bring in those plastic totes. Those perfectly fit up underneath the bed if it's raised at its max height, and also a space where they're able to store their luggage.
When are housing assignments given?
Yes, the first week of July, like usually July 1, July 2. We try to do it during the weekday. I just don't know it off by hand, but it's that first week of July when assignments are released.
Is there a locked drawer anywhere in the room?
We do not provide any locked drawers, but we do see a lot of residents provide little lock boxes, little safes for them to store passports and um, emergency cash of some sort when needed. But no, we do not have a lock, cabinets, or anything in the space.
Can you
Do
discuss the laundry service?
Yes, so laundry is coupled into the housing rate. So all the laundry machines in the buildings, all students have to do is just hit on and it will start loading up with water. They just have to provide their own detergent. There is a laundry service on campus that's run through a student-run business called Bear Wash, or yeah, Bear Wash or Wash Bear. It's a lot of bears. But they do provide a service where students can load up a laundry bag. It gets dropped off at a certain day, and then it's back within 2 days with their laundry clean and folded. So that's at an additional cost. That's not part of housing, but all of our, again, laundry spaces are coupled into the housing rate, and students don't have to worry about quarters or swiping a card to use Bear Bucks.
What are
Rules.
the rules for hanging items on the walls?
Mhm. So we encourage students to use blue tape or command strips that are sensitive to drywall and not peeling. Um, so students can hang things on the walls, but if they do damage the walls, they will be charges assessed at the end of move out.
When do they get their roommate assignments? Is it the same time as the housing placement?
That is correct. So students will see if they selected a roommate, that if they confirm in the system that they want to live with somebody, they will automatically receive that as that person as their roommate. But if they go through and allowing residential life to place, that will go live when the housing assignment goes live. And students will have access to their email to be able to reach out to their incoming roommate.
If you selected a roommate, how likely are you to be paired with that person?
100%.
Very nice. Is there a place on campus to store musical instruments?
So we in the residence hall don't provide storage for musical instruments, but there are certain programs on campus that may provide lockers in certain areas. So yeah, we don't provide, we have music room spaces in the residence halls where students can practice. But as far as leaving their equipment in the space, I would not recommend that. They probably should provide a space um, within their residence hall, in their room.
And then what type of detergent is best for the laundry machines?
Great. I think I would encourage parents that if your student hasn't been washing clothes, uh, and this time, and it will be their first time, little laundry pods go a long way because uh, in the first couple of weeks of school, the overloading of detergent is really high, and our vendor comes out a lot just to clean those out. So I recommend the little pods, or they even have the little detergent sheets. Those are really popular because you just throw it in and it's done and it's green and sustainable.
Can you speak to if there's carpet in the room, kind of temperature control,
Mhm.
those sorts of things?
Great. So, yes, majority all of our residence halls have carpet, temperature control. So, students are able to control the thermostat in their room. In our modern buildings, it's a I'm going to give more detail than needed, but it is a four-pipe system, so they're able to control cooling and heating at the same time. But in our traditional buildings, we do have to control when the heat turns on for the season and when the air condition is on for the season. Uh, but students, even in the traditional halls, when the air condition is on and set for the building, they have the ability to control the temperature cooling during summer months, and then in winter months, control the amount of heat that also comes. And then refrigerator rental service. So we do through it's through trucking provides rentals. There's also an option at the beginning where there's it's another student-run business. They collect the mini fridges from the following year, and then they sell them at a discounted rate where students could use them for the upcoming year. So you don't necessarily have to bring one, or if you don't want to worry about even getting one up to your space or getting rid of it at the end of the year, there is a rental service and it's through University Trucking. The link to their site is on our website, and you just sign up for it and you're able to do it. As far as mirrors in the dorms, many of the mirrors are either in the bathroom or the closet door has the full length mirror in some of our spaces, which if you go to many of our floor plans and our virtual tours on our website, you can see what much of the furniture looks like and what many of the mirrors look like also.
Can you speak to the process of changing housing if you really do need to say things aren't working out?
Yeah. So we do ask students, or we do not have any movement for the first 2 weeks of school. So once housing assignments have been sent out, there is no movement. We are full. We will evaluate. Students can submit a room change request, but those requests aren't considered for the first 2 weeks. And then from there, it's based on availability and also room switches. We recognize not every match will work, but what I always encourage families is students usually find people they want to switch with. As parents and family members, what I would encourage you all to do is encourage them to really try their best to get to know, set roommate parameters. There's a roommate guide that we kind of encourage students to fill out, a roommate agreement. And then from there, there's the RAs, the RCDs, their WUSAs, who are there to support them in navigating any challenges they may have with their roommate.
Can you validate the rumor that we have Tempur-Pedic mattresses?
We do have memory foam mattresses that have the stamp of Tempur-Pedic on them. So, in my time at WashU, I've never had anyone complain about the mattresses.
Can you talk about bike storage? Is it covered or uncovered?
Many of our bike storage is covered. They usually, yes. So we do have covered bike storage around the South 40, even outdoor plugs for e-bikes and scooters. Students are encouraged to plug those outside, not within the residence hall when charging.
And can you talk about that during breaks where they're stored or locked up? Is it outside versus somewhere
It is,
else?
yes, it is outside. Students are encouraged to register their bikes. And then also our university police, WUPD, sells, I believe it's $10 U-locks that are available for students to lock up their bikes when they're outside.
Can you talk about the bathroom cleaning services?
Yes. So in the first year communities and in our second years in the suites, the bathrooms are clean on a weekly schedule. The schedule is listed online. Parents, family, your student will know it because they will get very accustomed to having the bathrooms clean throughout the academic year. So, yeah, and then in the communal bathrooms, those bathrooms are cleaned daily. So those are always freshened up and ensure that they're stocked throughout the day.
Can you speak to the academic calendar for next year and just confirming the move out date?
I would have to pull that up. Okay, so the move out date for the spring is May 7th, 2027. So that's the last day current incoming freshmen would be allowed to stay in the residence halls. So it's really based off of when their final schedule. So if you're trying to pre-plan or think about flights way in advance, I would highly encourage you to wait until the spring semester to see what classes your student has signed up for. And then from there, the students will be able to look to see what their final schedule will look like. And then from there, I would consider it because if you purchase something too far in advance, then your student may just be on campus for 3 days and have no activity, and they could have easily left earlier. But we communicate that through the students. Your students will receive our newsletter with dates of when the move out should be for the spring.
Can you open the windows and are there blinds?
Students can open many of the windows, and we do provide blinds to block out. Yes.
Do people usually bring mattress covers?
We provide mattress covers for all of our mattresses. Um, Occasionally, we may see people bring toppers, but for the most part, for all of our mattresses, uh, we provide covers for them.
Are you able to change the shower head for this semester? Of course, returning the original one when moving out.
No. Students, unless it's a medical accommodation, students cannot change the shower head in the shower.
And I
And a
think
lot of that's due to pressure. These buildings have very high pressure. We do make accommodations for medical accommodations, individuals needing hand wands, but those are things we have to work through with our facility team to ensure it can maintain the amount of pressure that's coming through some of our buildings.
and then our last question is, can first year students bring a vehicle and get a parking spot?
So first year students are not allowed to have a vehicle. Parking and transportation, I believe, does have a process if it's for an accommodation or a need, but I would encourage you to reach out to that office and they would be able to assist you. But on as far as with housing, no. No freshmen have cars on the South 40 um, that I am aware of.
I think if you, to Will's point, if you do need an accommodation for that, you would still want to submit that a documentation and an application through disability resources. That's all
Wow,
the
that
questions
was
we have for right now, unless if anyone else has any other questions. Does the hot water ever run out?
It actually doesn't. We have some really, really huge hot water tanks in these buildings. So I have never heard any concern about hot water in our buildings.
The next question is about a health center on campus where students can go for colds, and other things. Yes, we do have a student health center on campus. It's on Shepley on our South 40. That's where I work sometimes with many of our medical providers. Um, that does not mean that you don't need to find a provider off campus sometimes, depending on that medical need. But usually they can see you first, and then if they need to, they can refer you off campus. Is the tap water drinkable? Is the next question.
Yeah. So it is drinkable, but we also have filtered water through water fountains throughout our residence halls. Um, so there is access to drinkable filtered water in our residential facilities.
The next question is about medical concerns and if parents are looped into their students' health information. Um, I don't know the exact process offhand. I do know you will likely need to have a release signed with your student. and that medical provider. Having worked with students and their providers, that usually can happen, but it is up to the student and the provider to sign that. Will, what are students instructed to do in case of a tornado?
Yeah, so we behind in all of the residence halls and in their rooms behind their doors is instructions about what to do in emergency situations. We also educate students on their floor meetings and also through our newsletters during, in this case, what to do during a tornado and drills in the greater St. Louis area every Monday at 11 o'clock. The tornado sirens are tested. So your student, if they're not from the Midwest, they will learn really quickly what those sirens mean. And again, with our team on campus, uh, they're trained of where they should go during fires, tornadoes, earthquakes, um, all of those kind of things. So yeah. What will the mailing address be given to the students? It will be in their housing portal. So once students we release the first week of July, the students' mailing address will be displayed there, and they're able to share out. And that address, yeah, that's where it will be. Is there air purifier or dehumidifier? Um, I you can definitely bring one. I see that very common due to seasonal allergies here in the Midwest. So yes, I think it is a preference or a choice for a person, but I would encourage a student to talk with their health provider or you as their parent, knowing coming to an area where there's a lot of trees, I find students find it if they aren't from a region like this a little difficult. So, yeah, doesn't mean they're sick. It's just they're becoming used to um, the many trees and
Allergens we have.
allergens. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, there's no other questions at the moment. Will, what would your advice, one piece of advice be over the summer before you come to campus?
Yeah, so my one advice for parents and family members is um, having your student learn how to do laundry.
A good one.
Um, Give them some advice on how to make popcorn because popcorn is the number one cause of fire alarms going off in our buildings. Uh,
Mm.
and how to reheat pizza and stuff. No, again, like I said earlier, don't over shop. Again, I think pack the necessities, and then once you and your student have arrived to campus, unpack, get settled in, and then evaluate what's needed now. Um, one thing I've seen with students moving out over the last couple of weeks is they came with a lot of stuff, and now they've got to move out with a lot of stuff. So, being smart about when your student comes home for winter break, what do they carry back with them so that they're not overloaded with so much stuff once it's move out for the summer. What about you, Rebecca? What advice would you
Mm.
give to our incoming students and their
Yeah.
parents?
I I would really say to kind of just enjoy your time. As a mom, I would kind of appreciate spending time with your family and your friends before you head into the transition of away to college, or even if you're local and staying locally for college, I would still say like just enjoying that time. I also, being a dietitian and in dining, I would say think about what your eating patterns are now and what do you kind of expect them to be on campus and really try to have, I said this earlier during some of the admitted student days, but really try to have a solid lunchtime open during your week so you have a good window to actually eat lunch. I see a lot of students just being really jam-packed with their schedule and feeling really rushed to eat. So I think it's really important to have that time, enough time during the day to actually eat. So maybe play around with some recipes and just kind of, if you haven't already experimented with learning some things to cook. We have meal plans, we have food for you on campus, but sometimes it might be nice for you to be able to have a recipe for yourself to make.
I think I have one more question, and I want to give a shout out. We have Raven, who's also on here. She's been answering a lot of our questions as
Yeah,
we
thank
get
you,
to them.
Raven.
But are vacuum cleaners available? Yes, we have vacuums in all of our communities. That's something that will be going over in their first floor meeting with their RA and with our housekeeping team. So you don't need to bring a vacuum because there will be hand vacuums available. But I have seen much popular these days are those little robots because you'll be surprised. Vacuuming is just another chore sometimes students just don't want to do.
Who does? Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Well, great. Well, we appreciate all of you that have logged on. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to either of our offices. And our team members will be gladly there to answer or get anything for them.
Yeah, so as Will said, thank you everyone for joining us. If you have questions, you can reach out to our respective offices. But we look forward to seeing you in August. Enjoy your summer. Um, yeah, and we'll see you soon.